Hey traders, welcome to this Capitalise.ai webinar exclusive for Eightcap traders. We really appreciate you taking some time to be here, and we're going to get moving in a minute or so. Just before we do, if you guys can open the chat box somewhere on the control panel and just give me a quick yes that you can hear me, and let me just share my screen with you guys. And let me know now that you can see my screen. I'm on the Capitalise.ai interface for Eightcap, so it's eightcap.capitalise.ai. And while we're going through this webinar, feel free to keep the chat box open, and please put any questions you may have there or comments. And I'll get to them as I'm going through this webinar. So let's just have a look here. I just want to see that. Okay, perfect. So, excuse me. So we got quite a lot of traders in the room today. This is awesome. So Trevor, welcome. Michael, John, Ronnie, Winston. Wow, we have a lot. Great, guys. This is going to be awesome. I see one question coming in that's probably on everyone's mind, and that's from Winston asking is, can Capitalise be used on MT5? So traders at the moment, no, you can only connect it to MT4, but obviously we'll be looking at MT5 integration in the future, and we'll keep you updated with all new feature releases. Great. So traders, let's go ahead. I'm going to get started and keep the chat box open. If you have any questions, I will get to them throughout this session. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and log in. And for anyone new, very quickly, you don't even have to sign up. You can log in with your MT4 credentials. So you can actually just download Eightcap's MT4 platform just off their website, and you can just go ahead and create an account. And you can see I've got a few demos here, and you can just use these credentials to log into Capitalise.ai. And if you're having any issues or whatever the case may be, you can always get us here on the in-app chat, and we'll help you out. So when you're putting in your credentials, just make sure MT4, you've got your MT4 account and password, and then make sure to select the correct server to be on. And we're going to go ahead here and log in. So today, traders, we're going to be looking at how you can automate your favorite indicators on Capitalise, and we're going to do it in terms of different trading strategies. So while we're getting logged in here, we're going to be firstly we're going to look at a range strategy using an RSI. And what we're going to do while we're loading up here, just for anyone new, just very quickly, you'll see the live examples page just for some inspiration. You can use these examples as well. You have the in-app chat here for any issues. And on the left-hand menu bar here, you can navigate anywhere and everywhere on Capitalise. And today we're going to be creating some strategies. So I'm going to go ahead to the create new strategy. And we're going to go ahead, and the first strategy we're going to look at is an RSI strategy. So let's bring up a price chart. And let's make sure we're using Eightcap's data. So we'll use US dollar, Canadian, and there's Eightcap there. So we're looking at the correct data. And the first strategy we're going to look at, as I said, is a range trading strategy with an RSI. And the most important thing about range trading is to look for a non-trending market. And typically these assets are defined in a range characterized by support and resistance. So let's go ahead here. I'm just going to use USD CAD for our first strategy here. And I'm going to go very quickly, and I'm going to put some Just some support and resistance lines. I'm on the day at the moment, so perhaps there's one around there, and perhaps there's one somewhere there, let's say. Remember, these are subjective, so we're going to go there. And what we're going to add now is our RSI. So I'm going to go ahead to indicators. I'm just going to get an RSI up here. I'm just going to use a default RSI, so I'll use a 14. Let me just take away the moving average. Okay, great. So what we're going to do here is the RSI is a relative strength index, and it measures when an asset is oversold and overbought. So this purple line here, every time it crosses above 70, it's considered overbought. And every time it crosses below 30, it's considered oversold. And these can be used to trigger buy and sell signals. So now that we have an indicator, we want to make sure that it's a non-trending market. So it's moving horizontally. And what we can do here is we can go to indicators here and just add an ADX. Okay, an average directional index. And this measures the strength of a trend without considering its direction. Presented in a scale from 1 to 100. The lower index, let's say lower than 20, is often considered a horizontal trend. So you can see here that we're below 20 on the US dollar, Canadian dollar. So let's go ahead and create a strategy for this on Capitalise with the RSI. Sorry guys, I just want to get questions up here. I do see a lot coming through. So guys, keep the questions coming and I will get to them. So let's go ahead and create the strategy on Capitalise. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a new strategy here. And we're going to go ahead with the entry. And exactly what we described there is what we're going to now. So we're going to go ahead and say, if the US dollar, Canadian dollar, and here we're going to go ahead with an RSI. And anytime you select an indicator, you can change the parameters on the tooltip above. So we'll just use, for this example, we'll leave it at a 14. We'll go with the 1 minute so we can get some hits, and we'll close it. And then we're going to describe what's happening with it. So we'll make it overbought, and we'll say not crosses above, but we'll say just is above 75. Then let's sell. What should we do? 0.1 lots, so 10,000. Let's go with USD CAD. And there's our entry. So we can go ahead here and click next. Notice at the top it highlights an exit. Feel free to move back if you need to. And just like our exit, we could close with anything. And in this position here, let's go ahead and see how it closes with let's say 2 conditions. So let's look for close position if USD CAD, let's say RSI, and we'll use the same RSI here. And for this one, let's say crosses below 30. Should we add another one? Okay, so let's add 2 more. So let's go ahead and say, you can add as many conditions as you want. So here we could say, okay, let's close the position if the RSI crosses below 30, or let's say if profits per unit of US dollar, Canadian dollar is, let's go with 40 pips, or let's go with if loss per unit of USD CAD is 40 pips. So here we got 3 conditions. Whichever one is met first after entry is obviously going to close the position. And we can go ahead here and click next. And that's all there is to creating your strategy. So we've created now a sell on the USD CAD. Let's just see this chart again here. So we've got some support and resistance lines, some day ones. Let's just look at an hour chart and see how it's playing out here. Let's see if we can see any more. Definitely looks like there's one around here. And then let's just go ahead to a minute chart. Okay, so we're still, maybe 5 minutes will give us a little bit of a better. Okay, so we still got some way to go down there. So what we should do is let's look at a point where it was ranging for. So we can see that it was ranging in this area, let's say from yesterday, sorry, let's say from about the 8th of May to the 16th of May. That's when we'll run the strategy for. So we can go ahead here. Let's maybe say from the 9th of May, it's about there. So let's go ahead here, and on the confirmation page, for anyone new, you can name your strategy here. You can set a total stop loss. So we have an individual loss in each trade, and we have a total stop loss for the strategy. And then here you can backtest the strategy, or you can run it. I'm connected to a demo account here, so if I run this, it's going to run on my demo account. It's going to open and close positions. But you can also connect it to a live account. So here we're going to backtest, and what I'm going to do is just backtest it for that ranging time to see what comes out of it. So we're going to go ahead and this is actually a new feature we just added. So you can backtest here, which will give you 90 days of data, or you can time adjust it. So you may want to test certain times in the market, and as we just saw on the chart, we want to test that ranging time. What we can do is go ahead and we'll go to May here. And we wanted to test for this week here. So let's say 9 to the 15th. And we can go ahead here and run this back test. And some of you may want to trade long and short on the same asset. You can do that as well. So we can create a strategy here. Another strategy that will be the total opposite. And the easiest way to do that here is to go to your control panel. As soon as it opens up here, and while that is, let me just check the questions here. Okay. Okay, guys, you can keep putting questions if you have. So our backtest is completed. Just to go through it very quickly for any new people here, we've got the date that we've tested it. We've got 20 hits, basically 20 trades. We got a total P&L of 0.31%. We got a hit. You can do a hit limit because we looped it. It'll run indefinitely, but you can do a hit limit, which will limit the amount of trades a strategy can take. Here you can run, and here's your control panel. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and let's just quickly just through this page. Sorry, I'm skipping ahead here. Here's your entry that we typed out. Here's our exit. This is our hit chart, which represents every trade that would have been taken. And you can see here, for example, if we move our mouse pointer over one of them, we can see that this was hit 17, returned 0.14%. The P&L was about $14. You can also see the highest and the lowest point the trade reached in terms of min and max P&L. Now, if you want to find some more information on this trade, for example, execution price, time, and so on, you can find hit 17 on the notification panel. This contains every trade, and each trade has two cards, one exit at the top, one entry at the bottom. So there's hit 20's exit and hit 20's entry just below that. If we scroll down a bit, we'll see hit 17's, hits, we're looking for 17, yeah. Hit 17's exit, and here we have the entry. So we can see that a strategy like this would have entered on 12th of May, 4:53 p.m., execution 1.30469. And you can see it would have exited roughly an hour or so afterwards. And it would have exited an execution price of 1.30285. And then below here, you have your winning and losing ratio. So we can see here that for a strategy like this, using an RSI on a strategy that on a, let's go to 1 day, on an asset that is ranging, This worked really well within the range, and we only tested it with the sell. So we could do the opposite for a buy. So that's easy. We can go ahead to our control panel here. We can select clone. Clone is a simple copy and paste. What we can do is any word that appears in bold can be changed at a click of a mouse. So we can say, let's say, we're going to do the opposite. So here we want this to go below, let's say 30. And then we want to buy 10,000 USD CAD. And then all we'd have to change is just this condition here. We can say here, crosses above 75. And we'll go ahead and click next. And we can backtest this strategy as well. So I'm going to backtest it for the same time frame that we ran the other one. We ran the other one on just last week, just for the week. So we can run the backtest here. And while that's running, you don't have to stay on the page. We're going to go to the left-hand menu bar here. And I'm going to go to the My Strategy page. And this is where you can view all of your strategies, all of your live, all of your stops, and all of your backtests. So if we go to backtest here, you can see here the strategies that we just created. So we can see here that this range strategy, just using a simple RSI overbought and oversold conditions, would have performed really well last week. Okay, great. So traders, that's our first strategy we're going with, and you're being really quiet out there. So if you have any questions, please feel free to pop them on the chat. Just confirm that you have sound and everything's okay and you're seeing the screen. I've just got Gregory saying that he can't hear me. So if you guys can just confirm, a few of you can confirm you can see the screen and you have sound, that'd be great. Okay, awesome, Winston, Sammy, thanks guys. Okay, so that's a range strategy there that you could use with Capitalise, because these actually came out really well. And looking at it now, the ADX is still really low. There may be opportunity to run this now live. So we could go ahead here and just on our control panel, we can just go to run here. So we'll run the buy strategy. So we just back tested it. We see the results, and now we want to run it. I'm connected to a demo account, so it's going to open and close trades on my demo account. But you can connect to both. You can connect to a demo account and a live account. So the moment I say run, it's just like a clone. It's going to bring the strategy up on the wizard. We just have to go ahead and run. And I'll just name this. Well, I won't name this. We'll give it a name. So I'll run that. This is now going to open and close trades on the position. And then we want to run the other one as well. And this is what a live page looks like. And if you're new and you want to know more, guys, you can check out our YouTube channel, or you can check out one of our previous webinars on Eightcap's website, an introduction webinar. We go through all of this. So while this is getting going, I'm going to go to the My Strategy page very quickly. And I'm going to go ahead and create the other backtest. So I'm going to clone this. You can click run or clone and just create it as a live strategy. So I'm going to go ahead and click next, and run. So now we've got those two strategies running live on our account, and I can just go to the My Strategy page here. And you can check out all your strategies, control them, and so on. So they're the two that we created. We got one sell, one buy, working in tandem with each other. So let's go ahead and move on to another strategy. And the next strategy we're going to look at is creating is a momentum trading strategy. So momentum trading measures the strength of a trend through different indicators. We get in when we believe the price is rising and the trend is strong, and we get out at an assumed price peak or profit point. So as you might have guessed, the primary task of momentum trading is to assess the strength of a trend before buying in. And we could use indicators such as ADX, moving averages, RSI, MACD with momentum trading. But today we'll look at another popular indicator that we can use, which is an exponential moving average. So what we want to do here is, look at entering a trade when the EMA is pointing upwards. So we want to get out an exponential EMA here. Let's use a 21 EMA. What should we go to? Let's go to AUD USD. And make sure you select Eightcap's data for that. Okay, that looks okay. I mean, we preferably like the ATR to be above 30, but it's getting up there. So I'll just go ahead and run this strategy on AUD USD. And what we're going to look to do is we're going to look for any time the EMA is rising. So anytime the EMA rises, we're going to want to get in. So we can go ahead and create this on Capitalise.ai, and let's go ahead and create our rising EMA. And what we'll do is let's just look at a, we'll use different time frames in this one. So let's see what a 4 hour looks like here. Let's just see 1 minute. Okay, let's use AUD USD. And let's go ahead and firstly look for a rising EMA over a 4 hour period. So we want a rising EMA over a 4 hour period just between 2 bars. And that's easy for us to do. We could go ahead to Capitalise, and we could write, let's go if AUD USD EMA, and again, I'm selecting an indicator, so I can change the parameters in the tooltip above. So here I'm going to look at a 21, because that's what we're using, and a 4 hour close. So this is the latest closed EMA. It's the current value we're using, and we want to say that it's above the previous EMA value. So we can do that by giving the EMA a name. And any EMA before this gets a name with offset 1, the one before that offset 2, and so on. So we could just say something simple like, if the EMA is above the same EMA with an offset of 1. So I'll just use the 21 4 hour close with an offset of 1. And now we've just described a rising EMA over 2 bars, exactly as we'd have, let's say, here. Exactly as we'd have between these 2 bars, or these 2 bars, or these 2 bars, or these 2 bars, and so on. And we're describing it over the 4 hour period. Now let's go ahead and look for a rising EMA over a smaller time frame. So we can go ahead here and say, okay, and let's say if AUD USD EMA, and we'll use the same one. I'll use a 21, but I'll just use a 1 minute in this case. Let's see. You know what? Let's actually change that. Let's change this one to below. And let's look at a sell strategy, and then we can do a buy strategy after that. So here we can go if the 21 1 minute EMA is below, let's say AUD USD EMA, And here we're going to go with the same 21 1-minute close. I'm not going to use the bar right next to it. I'm going to use it 4 bars back. So I'm going to go with an offset of 5 bars. I want to see it rising over 5 bars on the 1-minute scale, and then we're good to get it. So let's leave it at that for now, and we can go ahead and then let's sell 10,000 AUD USD. We can go ahead and click next here. And for our exit here, there are a lot of choices that you can do. You can obviously create an exit with anything, including a take profit, a stop loss, a trailing stop, a trailing take profit if you want to lock something in. And we'll get into that probably in our next strategy. But let's close this. Let's run the strategy really quickly and run it over a 3-month period. So let's say if profit per unit of AUD USD, let's say, is 40 pips, we'll just go with the same. Or if loss per unit, let's go AUD USD is 40 pips. We can go ahead here and click next. Let me click pips there, click next. And we can go ahead and backtest this. And traders, while I'm backtesting this, I'd like to put up a poll, if you don't mind. It'll be, maybe 30 seconds or so. Let's just go ahead, if you can, just take a moment. And the question is, what account type are you using for trading? Are you using a live account, a demo account, or haven't opened account yet? Oh, this is great, guys. We're getting so many votes in. I'm going to keep it running for about 10 seconds now. So guys, just on the screen, if you can just check it out there. What account type are you using for trading? I think I'm almost there. I'm going to give it another 10 seconds, and I'm going to close it after that. Okay, guys, thanks very much. Okay, guys, thank you. Thank you for that. I see most of you are using live accounts, and just for most of you that are using live accounts, you can connect to demo as well, so you can test and run strategies on this. So we've run this strategy now so far. We've actually run it over 3 months here. And let's just have a look at the last 3 months. It's actually coming back pretty negative there. So if we just go to AUD USD, let's just zoom out. Let's take away the RSI. We don't need that anymore. We're using a 21 EMA here. So over the last couple of months, we can actually see it's been a little bit low, the ADX. Remember, for momentum strategy, we're looking at a bit of a higher ADX. So what I'm thinking is, if it moved higher in this period here, so let's test this strategy for, let's say, the last 2 weeks or so and see what we get, because we're getting a negative result here, which is not surprising. I'm not even going to wait for it to finish. I'm just going to go ahead right here to the control panel, and it finished there. It finished at negative 1.9. So I'm going to go ahead to the control panel. I'm going to clone it. What I'm going to do is focus more in when the trend is a little bit stronger than before that. It dipped a bit low there. And that's where we got in there. So let's go have a look here. We leave the strategy exactly the same, and we go ahead and backtest the strategy, but let's just time adjust it. So we'll backtest it from, let's say, let's go with a short backtest in the last 2 weeks. That's what we said. So the 4th of May to the 15th. I'm going to go ahead and run this backtest. And let's see if we can get a better result here. So this is a great, let's see what we actually get out of it and see if it works. Okay, so the ADX has been a little bit stronger in the last couple of weeks here. As you can see, it's been above 20. Before that, it was below 20 for most of the year. So this strategy is definitely working much better when the ADX is a little bit higher. Okay, traders, we're running out of time now. Let me see if we got any questions that are coming through. Okay, we're getting some questions. That's great. Okay, so guys, if anyone wants to know about offsets, you can always check out our support page here. And just to see, if you search our support page for just offsets, you'll get an article here. This will show you how to name your charts. So just for example here, we've got the current bar, which is the moving bar. It can never close. The moment the current bar closes, it becomes the previous bar. So the current indicator is based on the previous bar. It's got to be closed. And then offset 1. So with that EMA, we were comparing the EMA, which is based on the latest closed bar, to the bar just before that. And guys, if you want to know more, there's this article here. And if you prefer watching, we've got some videos up on YouTube about automating and historically defining indicators like I've just done, and so on. Tammy, you're asking a great question here as well. Tammy's asking, can we not add the ADX strategy in as well? Yes, you can. But I don't want to get into it right now, Tammy. You will be able to use TradingView signals, TradingView alerts on Capitalise. We're actually going to be doing it through our next webinar. I think it'll be next month. So we will be able to incorporate ADX into it. And if you want to know more, Tammy, you can also just check out our support page for TradingView alerts. And you can go add them, but we'll be doing a webinar on it, so you can add the ADX as well. Great question there. Okay, great, guys, let's get moving. We're running behind, and we got another strategy to do. So what we're going to go ahead and do is create our next strategy, and we're going to look at probably one of the most popular types of trading, which is swing trading. And the underlying principle is that the price movement of an asset is rarely, ever linear for long, unlike what a momentum strategy would assume. So in other words, we're looking to take advantage of pullbacks and rallies in prices. So entries take place at the pullbacks and exits at the rallies. And these strategies can span multiple days or weeks, depending on what you're trading, and depending, if there's a good reason to keep holding the position. So, just like the other strategies that we've spoken about, you can use a variety of fundamental technical indicators for swing trading, but probably one of the most heavily associated indicators with swing trading is the Bollinger Bands. So we can go ahead here and let's get up Eurodollar. And remember, you want to get Eightcap's data. And we can go ahead here and let's add some Bollingers here. Some Bollinger Bands. I'm going to keep it at the default, just 20 and 2. So when we're looking at a Bollinger Band, we're looking at a simple moving average, which is the middle here. And then we're looking at the upper and the lower bands, which represent the standard deviation of the moving average. In this case, the standard deviation is 2. So in other words, the 2 outer bands determine the volatility of a trend and serve as indicators for when a pullback or rally is taking place. So let's go ahead here and we just zoom in a little bit. We can see that when the price of an asset or the price of a currency, in this case, pierces the upper band, we may have a sell signal in order. And the opposite, when a currency moves below the lower band, there may be a buy signal in order. A strategy doesn't need to incorporate both these conditions. So let's go ahead and create a strategy for some swing trading. And I'm going to keep it in currencies for the day. And I'm going to go ahead and say, let's say if the euro US dollar, this time I'm going to look at a bar. So I'm going to look at one bar. It's the latest closed bar. It's a 1 minute, and I'm looking at the close. And let's look for that to cross above the upper Bollinger Band. And this time I'm not going to use a 1 minute. I'm going to go with a 15 minutes here. I'm going to keep the 20 and the 2. And let's go ahead and then sell 10,000 euro dollar. And what we're going to do for our exit on this one is we're going to look at closing the position when, not the bar, but just when the price crosses below the middle BB. So we can go ahead and say close position if euro dollar crosses, and we're just referring to the price when we say that. Let's say crosses below the middle Bollinger Band. And we can go ahead. I'm going to use the 15-minute close. So we're selling when it hits when it crosses above the top, and we're buying back. We're closing the position when it crosses below the middle BB. Let's say buy 0.05%. And we can go ahead here and click next, and let's see how this one runs out. So backtest. Guys, let's see if questions are coming through. Guys, keep some questions coming through here. Let's see where. Okay, great. So Winston, you're just asking for a quick history of Capitalise. So Winston, we're a fairly young company in the fintech world. We're turning 5 this year, and we're based in Tel Aviv. With offices in the US as well. If you're asking how the AI is involved, basically, we're taking everyday English and turning that into algorithmic strategies. So I'm going to go ahead, traders here, and let this run out here. And again, when you're on your backtesting page, you don't have to stay on the page. You can go ahead and do some other stuff and come back. So while we're actually waiting for, oh, you know what? It seems to be my connection. Let me refresh this page here. Let's see if we can get a. It should probably finish by now. I shouldn't have that many hits, or maybe it will. Normally the backtest should start within a couple of seconds, but depending on the amount of hits it has, it may run for a couple of minutes. If you're running a strategy that has 1,000 hits, it may take a couple of minutes to finish. So here we're at let's see, we're at 75 hits at the moment. We're up 4.23%, which is pretty great with currencies. Let's see here, traders. Okay, guys, keep some questions coming in. I know I've gone over time already. I want to be respectful of everyone's time. So we're going to see this run out, and then I just want to change the strategy. Depending on how this comes out, I may want to run it. So we're going to see how it produces, and this is what I like to see. If you can show a back test with above 50 hits or 100 hits, that's a good sample size to have for your back test, and that gives you a really good idea of how this strategy has been performing. Remember, this strategy is running for the last 3 months. We're not time adjusting it. So if this comes out nicely, I feel I would want to run this on my demo account. You know, if you've got a live account, you may want to run it after a couple of days of that. So, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to the My Strategy page quickly, because that last strategy that we ran in the momentum, I want to turn into a live strategy as well. Okay, let me try get this up and running. Sorry about this, guys. It's seems to be a connection issue. Are you guys hearing me okay, loud and clear? Yeah, just let me know in the chat. Okay, David, thanks. Okay, great. So I'm not sure why this is. Okay, great. We finished the back test here. It's been running for 3 months, and we came back at 7.02%, which is, that's pretty nice. This is something I may want to run. So I'm going to go ahead here, and I'm going to click run straight away. And this is something I'm going to run. And this is obviously on my demo, so it's going to be opening and closing trades on my demo account. And you can keep a lookout on all the trades you'll be able to see on your MT4 platform. Just make sure to be logged in with the right account, and you'll be able to see the trades here. So we're creating this to run because it came out well. And then just the first strategy that we created, I'm going to go ahead and run it as well. So I'm going to go to the My Strategy page here. And just on my back test, it was this one here, the AUD USD. We want to keep an eye on it, because remember, the first one when we ran for 3 months came back at negative 1.9. This one came back at 0.51. So we want to make sure that for this momentum strategy that, you know, we have you know, some good volatility, and you can look at the ADX for that. So I'm going to go ahead here and run this just for the meantime, just for the next week or so. I just want to run it on my demo, see how it goes, and then take it from there. Traders, thank you so much for hanging on even till the end. This has been awesome. We'll be running other webinars within the next couple of weeks and months, so please be sure to join. We also run live demo sessions every day, so if you want to join in on a discussion, or if you want to just get a demo of our platform, if you're new, you can just get us on the in-app chat and we'll send you the invites. However, the moment you sign in, you'll actually get an invite on your in-app chat. You can see all of your conversations right here. Great, guys. So Ollie, thank you. Thanks, guys. Thanks for all the thanks that's coming in at the moment. It's been really great. And until the next webinar, have a great week ahead, and whatever you're doing, stay safe. For myself, the team here at Capitalise and Eightcap, have a great day, and we'll see you next time.